Hello everyone! Today we are going to be working in my Silhouette Cameo program. I want to create some wall art for my sewing room and also for my room. So I'm going to show you two different ways in order to create an image for canvas. And we're going to be working on canvas because that's where I'm going to be putting it. So this is what my canvas board looks like. And I have two of those because I'm showing you two different ways. We're going to do a vinyl and we're going to do a printable heat transfer paper. So this particular image will go on the heat transfer paper. However, it's on a white background. I got this image from online and I want to get it off the white background in order for me to print it properly. So what I'm going to do is go to my tracing or replicate window. I'm sorry, that's not the right one. My tracing. Replicate is later. Okay. So I'm going to click here and select my trace area. And you can adjust this as needed once you get it traced. Now what I've learned, I've had to tweak and fix things a little in order to make sure everything was going to be traced. As you can see, the words are pretty much done, but this needs to be filled in. So what you're going to do is you're going to adjust your high pass filter as well as your threshold and scale. I'm going to click low pass filter just because it may have some low features that need to be filtered in. So I just do that. But I always start off with my high pass filter and just drag this line over until I see it going where I need it to be. And then as you can see, it filled all of that in. Now I want to make sure all my lines here are being filled. So I'm going to try to adjust the scale just slightly. And it looks better around 12, so I'm just going to leave it there. Just going to make sure I don't need to change anything on my threshold. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. And then I'm going to try my low pass filter. And that obviously doesn't need any changing. So now what you do is I like to trace and detach. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And just let it do its work, which it did. Now, one thing before you try to move this off of the area, what you want to do is I want this to all be together. So I'm going to first start here. Sorry. Oh yeah, I can do it. That makes it easier. So we're going to delete that. And if I were to do this, you see how it moves away from the word? So what I want to do, I'm just going to put a little box around that. And I'm going to group them. So now when I move that, it all moves together. And I want it grouped to my little lady here. So now I'm going to group all this together. And now that I've done that, when I move it, it all moves at one time. So at this point, it's ready to be printed. But what you want to do is flip it, because when you get ready to iron it on, you want it flipped. So when you print or when you get ready to iron, it's on the right side like it should be. So what you need to do now is go here to your replicate window. And you can either mirror it left or mirror it right. And I'm just going to click mirror left, take this image, delete it, because I don't need that now. And as you can see, it's right where it should be. So what I'm going to do now is to place my registration marks on. And this is where the silhouette will read in order to know where to cut. So mine is set to off right now. However, I want to put that on type 1, which is Cameo, Portrait, and Curio. And as you can see, it's all the way inside. You don't want it touching any of the gray marks because then that part will be cut off. Now for me, because I did this yesterday, I know that I have to flip this for my printer to print it out in portrait instead of landscape. So I'm just going to set that right there. But now, one thing I didn't find a lot of good information on because I kept having a problem, these are the registration marks, and they need to be on your printed paper, your printable heat transfer paper, in order for the silhouette to read it. Now, what I did, just playing around tweaking it, I moved my registration marks in order for them to come out right. So what I know I have to do is move this up just slightly, keeping it inside the red box, and then I'm going to go and adjust my registration marks. Leave that about right there, and I have to move this down about right there. And then I have to adjust the right side, bring it on in, bring it to the bottom of my pictures, and then I have to adjust the bottom in order for my registration marks to print. Now you still want to make sure that your image is on the proper part of the paper. Now when you look at this, you want to be sure that your image is inside this box, because if it's not, like I said, it's going to be cut off. So at this point, you're ready to send this to printer, and make sure you print on your printable heat transfer paper. So we're going to do that, and then I'll go and show you how to cut. Okay guys, so now that we printed out our paper, this is what it looks like with the registration marks. And these are the marks that I told you the silhouette needs to read in order for it to know how to cut this. So I have my silhouette on. Now, one important thing you need to know is your paper needs to be exactly how you see it on the screen, because that's how the silhouette is going to know where to cut and how to cut. So what you're going to do is you're going to go over to your little cutter here, and you're going to make sure all of the settings are correct. You're going to select, right now I'm using the printable heat transfer for light colors. So I have that selected, and what you see here is what your needle should be, and it should be on 1. And then it shows you here where your rollers should be. Okay, so now that we have everything all set, make sure you line it up. You want to load matte. Then you want to send this to the silhouette to print. And what it's doing right now is reading those registration marks. What you see now is just basically the silhouette cutting my image. Okay guys, so now we have our paper here that is cut. You can't really see because the cut lines are really fine, but if you look around her hair, you can see that it's cut. So when I get ready to peel off the piece that I don't need and iron this onto my canvas, it'll all be there. So now we're going to get started with our vinyl cut. For this part of our project, this is going to be a lot easier than what we did with the heat transfer. At least to me it is. I have another phrase here by Coco Chanel, which is one of my favorite designers. And I'm going to put that phrase on a canvas to put up in either my room or my sewing room. So what we're going to do for this is I have some vinyl here. I have some vinyl here. Comes on a roll. I ordered it from Amazon. It's actually the silhouette vinyl. It's glossy. We're just going to put this on our mat. First, I need to make sure that the measurements are correct for my project, and it is. So I'm going to cut a good amount of this vinyl in order to have it print properly. So as you can see, I have the vinyl onto my mat. I'm going to load my mat into my silhouette. And with this, you don't really have to do anything special, but go over to cut. Do your settings, and we're using vinyl this time. So we want to go down to vinyl. And same thing, it tells you where your needle should be. I actually like mine on 2 because it gives it a deeper cut. I'm going to leave all the other settings the same. And you could do like a test cut and it'll cut up in the corner on your silhouette just so you can see how the cut's going to look before you actually cut it. I'm not going to do it because I know this is going to cut right. What I am going to do is change my blade to 2 because it's on 1 right now. So just in case you don't know how to change your blade, you open this up. It has a little hole right here where you stick this in. And you just change the cut. Oops. Kind of a little butter finger today. Okay. I'm going to just change that over to 2. And you'll feel it kind of click. And that's on 2. You stick it right back in there. Close it. And now you're just going to go over here. Select your printer, Cameo, press start. Okay guys, so here comes the hard part. As you can see, I already started peeling away around my little lady here. And you want to be careful because this heat transfer paper is very delicate, but you want to pull away around the parts that you're not using. So be very careful when you're doing this. Take your time. Don't rush through it because if you do, you're going to tear your paper. Now how you actually do this when you're done and you have everything you don't need off, you place this face down on your canvas so the grid will be looking at you. I use this little sheet here that they sent me. It's kind of like a tissue paper or whatever, wax paper, and then you're going to have your iron. For this, I put my iron on cotton setting, and you just go over it very slowly with your iron, making sure that you're going down and it's actually sticking. So this takes a little bit of time. Don't rush through it. Just go ahead and take your time so that when you're done, your finished product will look like this. Now, if any of you are paying attention, you will see that when I mirrored this image, it didn't turn the inside square around. So we know it's Coco Chanel perfume bottle, but it's facing the opposite way. So this is what it looks like on the canvas once you have your image placed on it. And the next one, what you're going to do, as you can see, this is black, so I'm not sure if you could see inside the words, but what you're going to do is take a little pick. They gave you this little needle thing here with your silhouette. You just take out and take inside, like the A. You're going to take that inside out, and you have to be very, very careful and pay attention to where it is and where it isn't cut. Like in the D, you want to take that out. Anything of that you don't need, you want to be sure to take out. Okay, and then you're just going to place this onto your canvas just like you would with any other vinyl. You just place it on there. Oh, and I didn't need anything cut for this, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull away the entire piece, being very, very careful not to pull away the phrase just yet. I'll take that off. And this can be a very tricky part too, because this vinyl is very, very sticky. And you can see how I'm just pulling it away very slowly, so that I'm not pulling up anything that I need right now, so that I can go ahead when I'm ready to pull out my phrase and place it on my canvas. So I just like to kind of pull up away from everything, just like so. And in between, I like to cut, because this vinyl is very sticky and you don't want it sticking to any of the other letters that you need. And this is just what I like to do. If you have an easier way to do it, you go ahead and do that. My video is just a template for what you can do with yours. I'm just going to cut that. So what your canvas will look like after you have all your vinyl out. Okay, so I messed up a little bit here. I noticed that none of my I did not group together my letters, so each one is individual. Doesn't matter, because once you have all the letters and everything cut out, I mean all the negative space cut out, you're going to use your transfer paper. You're going to place the transfer paper on top, smooth it out, make sure all the letters are stuck to the transfer paper. Then you're going to move it onto your canvas, and once it's there, it'll be all in place. So this canvas, this transfer paper here, I got from Silhouette. It came with my kit, and it helps out tremendously. Now, if all of this were together and I didn't have any transfer paper, another thing that you can use is painting tape, because it has the same kind of response when you get ready to move it. So when you do that, and you go ahead and put it on your canvas, and when you're done, it will look like this. Now this one I cut properly. I don't know what I did with the other one, but this one got cut properly, and that's how it's supposed to look when you're finished. If I had all the letters grouped together on my other paper, it would definitely be right, but this is a great way to decorate your home for less. So if you have any questions, people, about anything that you saw here today, anything that you think I missed that you need to know about, go ahead and ask me all of that in the comments. Sign up to my social media if you're not already there, and follow me. I do have another channel. I have not vlogged on that channel for about 2 weeks or a week or so. So I don't really update that channel on a regular basis. Like I said, go ahead and share this video, subscribe, and I will see all of you next time. Bye.